If you swipe away from this video now, you'll be missing out on the most thrilling crime suspense series of the year. Spot, one of the world's most elite assassins, has been hired for an extraordinary mission: eliminate a German chancellor candidate. The contract? A staggering 10 million euros. But the target isn't just anyone. He's a heavily protected political figure, surrounded by tight security. Killing him won't be easy. It requires creating the perfect opportunity. Spot sets his sights on the target's son. To get close, he first kills a janitor who works at the son's company. Then, through surgical disguise and impersonation, Spot assumes the cleaner's identity and infiltrates the office building. The elevator takes him smoothly to the top floor, where his target is flirting with the secretary. But Spot doesn't strike immediately. He's not a soldier fueled by emotion. He's an assassin. Precise. Strategic. For a world-class assassin like Spot, an assassination must be silent, surgical, and clean. Killing everyone in the room doesn't count. It must be undetected. Sensing danger, the target bolts toward the emergency exit. Spot doesn't hesitate. One precise shot, direct hit to the thigh. The man collapses, then looks up, only to see the dark abyss of a gun barrel staring back at him. But Spot doesn't pull the trigger. He wasn't here to kill. Not yet. This was bait. He needed the target alive to draw someone else into the open, someone bigger. Now that this objective is complete, it's time to vanish. Spot rushes to the rooftop, throws several smoke grenades off the edge, and then rappels down the side of the building like a ghost. By the time the police arrive, he's already back in his rented apartment, blending back into civilian life. Tomorrow marks the final deadline for the assassination of the chancellor candidate. Spot knows there will be no second chance. The next morning, the chancellor candidate gets into a car headed for the hospital. Meanwhile, Spot begins assembling his custom-built sniper rifle. He takes out a small red windmill, mounts it on a balcony rail, then retrieves a disguised rifle barrel hidden in a suitcase handle. Every piece has been smuggled in carefully. His shooting position is extreme, 3,815 meters, nearly 4 kilometers from the hospital. He didn't choose this location out of preference. All nearby high-rise buildings are under surveillance or restricted. Taking a shot from this distance is almost surgical madness. It's like trying to give bacteria cosmetic surgery. For reference, 2 months ago, a hitman attempted to assassinate Donald Trump from 400 meters. He fired 8 rounds. Only 1 bullet grazed Trump's ear. Compared to Spot, that guy was an amateur, probably hired last minute through some online freelancer service. Now, the motorcade carrying the German candidate comes into view. Spot steadies his breathing. He watches the red windmill spinning, 2 full rotations per second, indicating a strong wind blowing from the 3 o'clock direction at 35 kilometers per hour. He calculates wind, speed, bullet drop, rotation, spin drift, and air resistance, all within seconds. Then he exhales. Finger on the trigger. 1 second, 2, 3. Around 7 seconds later, a tiny gray dot appears on a white wall across from him, a bullet mark about 26 centimeters off target. The convoy is now entering the hospital grounds. Outside, protesters fill the streets. The candidate is known for promoting fascist ideals, and public anger is boiling. But Spot remains calm. He reloads, then lowers the rifle slightly. He fires again. This time, the gray mark lands exactly on the rotating windmill's tip, a perfect calibration. The rifle's mechanics are flawless. Now the rest is up to fate. In extreme long-range sniping, the outcome hinges not on marksmanship, but on godlike prediction. A 7-second bullet flight gives the target time to walk dozens of steps, shift slightly, or simply pause. Security movement, ambient noise, even atmospheric shifts, all could turn success into failure. Still, Spot places his bet on that single shot. Spot breathes in, slowly exhales. With calibrated confidence, he pulls the trigger once more. 7 seconds later, the bullet rips through the back of the chancellor candidate's head, right at the hospital entrance. The man collapses on the ground, blood spraying the marble steps as panic erupts across the area. People scream. Protesters scatter. Security rushes in, too late. But Spot doesn't watch the aftermath. He calmly disassembles his rifle, breaking it down into suitcase parts within seconds. He even drops a timed explosive behind, a distraction, not a massacre. Then casually exits the building, blending into the chaos like any other civilian. Moments later, from inside a rented Mercedes, he drives away. Sirens wail in the background. Police cars scream past him. He politely pulls over to let them pass. But they don't know, the man they're chasing just nodded and smiled at them. Assassinating the candidate was just the beginning. Getting away clean? That's the real challenge. An hour later, Spot arranges to meet a seller of antique chess sets. He needs an excuse to be in Germany, one that will survive scrutiny. By the time he arrives, every border in the city is under lockdown. He's been rotating through 20 hours of police patrols, and now at a random checkpoint, a pair of tired officers wave him down. "Open the trunk," they say. He does. Inside is a regular suitcase. No weapons, no obvious threats. "What brings you to Munich?" an officer asks. Spot opens the case to reveal an ivory chess set. He smiles. "I'm a collector. Drove 800 kilometers just to buy this." The officer squints, yawns, and waves him through. A week later, German intelligence, desperate and humiliated, contacts MI6 in the UK. They've combed every lead. All they have is a short video of the suspect leaving the scene. One glance at the footage and MI6 agent Blackthorn shakes her head. "Wrong guy," she says. "The suitcase he's carrying is under 60 centimeters tall," she explains. "But the shortest sniper rifle on Earth, the TAC-50, has a barrel over 73 centimeters. If it were inside that case, the barrel would stick out." The German foreign minister asks, "Then where's the sniper rifle?" Blackthorn replies, "One possibility, it was custom built. A modular weapon, assembled in parts." Just then, a ballistics expert jumps in. "Impossible. Barrels require millimeter precision. Even the slightest misalignment, and at that range it would misfire or worse, explode." Blackthorn smirks. "I know someone who could do it. A guy named Norman. Can you find him?" they ask. "I know someone who can. Sparrow, an informant." She's close to Norman's inner circle. In windy autumn Paris, Spot enters a grimy internet cafe near a high-speed rail station. He logs into the dark web. A week has passed since the assassination, and the final payment still hasn't arrived. Suddenly, a green flash lights up on screen. A new encrypted message appears. "We have another job. Bigger reward. Are you interested?" Spot replies coldly. "I don't meet clients in person." But the reply comes instantly. "We're offering $100 million. Spot pauses. That's 10 times his usual fee. Who could possibly be worth that much? The President of the United States? Or is this a trap? Meanwhile, in Northern Ireland, MI6 agent Blackthorn meets with her informant Sparrow. Sparrow has a dark past. She once married Norman's brother and went to jail for it. Blackthorn pulled strings to get her out. Now, Blackthorn gives her one task. "I need Norman's phone number within 24 hours. No delays." Sparrow hesitates. Her husband is extremely sensitive about anything involving Norman. Before she can protest, Blackthorn's voice hardens. 24 hours. Not a second more. Back in Paris, Spot receives the $1 million meeting fee instantly in his offshore account. He's now convinced this isn't law enforcement. Police funds take days to approve. But Spot is a man of principle. His reputation outweighs everything. He can't back down now. The meeting is scheduled in Sweden in a remote countryside location. Spot arrives early and hides among the tall grass. He deploys over a dozen drones to scout the area. Eventually, an East Asian woman arrives, alone. No backup. He confirms the area is clear and sends the address. The woman steps into the building. "Your target is Xiao Ma." Spot's heart skips. Xiao Ma, a fictional figure, is one of the world's wealthiest men. In college, he created a mobile payment empire. By junior year, he was on Forbes' Young Billionaires list. He later founded a global finance platform, helping politicians and crime syndicates launder money. Now he's in the top 10 richest and famous worldwide. Spot finds this intriguing and challenging. He accepts. Meanwhile, back in London, Blackthorn hasn't heard back from Sparrow. She's running out of time. So she goes after Sparrow's weakness, her daughter, Emma, a college student and political activist. Police arrest Emma during a protest. They deny her food, water, legal aid, and charge her with fabricated crimes. 10 years, unless you call your mother, they say. Sparrow is devastated. The next call she makes is to Blackthorn. Spot parks his rental car in front of a luxury villa in Spain. This is home, not the assassin's den, but where he lives a second life. 2 years ago, Spot got married. Last year, he became a father. His wife Leah is thrilled by his sudden return. Spot tells her he came back for their son's birthday. But deep down he knows he's only one kill away from retirement. One more job, eliminate Xiaoma, and he'll vanish for good. But trouble is already brewing. Back in London, MI6 agent Blackthorn gets a disturbing report. Emma, Sparrow's daughter, has suffered a heart attack while in custody. She collapses in the detention center. Paramedics rush her to the hospital. Her heartbeat flatlines. Shock paddles pound her chest once, twice. No use. Emma is gone. Sparrow is devastated. She calls Blackthorn furious. You said no harm would come to her. What is this? Blackthorn lies. She's still alive. Let's make a deal. Give me Norman's number and I'll get her out. Sparrow is trapped. This is how MI6 works, deals, pressure, no morality. And Blackthorn, despite being the kind one, is still very much part of that system. Spot, meanwhile, is panicking, not because of the job, but because the payment hasn't cleared. He logs into a secure bank terminal. The funds are still pending. He messages the employer. What's going on with the payment? At the very same moment, Leah receives a phone notification. She's been suspicious for a while. She decides to follow him. Meanwhile, back in London, Sparrow sends Norman's number, her only bargaining chip. Blackthorn's boss issues a single command. Blame everything on local police. Keep our hands clean. But this scandal is explosive. Emma's death will become a political wildfire, especially since she belonged to a radical leftist movement. Spot is furious. He doesn't care about the money anymore. He only fears the truth getting out. If the public learns who hired him, the entire underworld might blacklist him. So he makes a new decision. Kill the client. He logs into the bank again, traces the payment route. It's layered through multiple shell companies, fake firms across various countries. One by one, he peels back the corporate layers. And then, shock. The person who funded the assassination of the German candidate is the Chancellor's own son. Yes, the very man Spot spared. He had used his own attempted murder to draw out enemies, and then he eliminated his own father through Spot. A son who betrayed his father. Spot leans back in silence. Spot knows his world has flipped. The person who lured him into this mission is none other than the Chancellor's son, whom he had previously wounded and spared. He used Spot like a chess piece to eliminate his own father. So Spot does what he always does when the game turns deadly. He plans ahead. He visits a rare chess collector and purchases a set of ivory chess pieces, an excuse to cover his movement into Germany should he be stopped again. That night, at a German border checkpoint, exhausted police flag him down. What's in the trunk? Spot opens the boot. Inside, nothing but a clean suitcase. Reason for your visit? He opens it. The elegant chess set gleams under the flashlight. I drove 800 kilometers for this. They let him pass, not knowing that this collector carried, just days ago, the sniper rifle used to kill a world leader. MI6 agent Blackthorn continues her hunt. With Sparrow's daughter dead, her only lead now is Norman, the master gunsmith. She uses Norman's phone number to triangulate his location. somewhere in Belarus. Authorization is granted. This will be a covert cross-border mission. If agents are killed, they will be disavowed. At the Belarusian border, Blackthorn's team is ambushed. 2 agents die in a fiery explosion. But Norman, wild-eyed and frenzied, fires blindly with a heavy machine gun. He empties the magazine, then runs for his life. Blackthorn gives chase, guns blazing, but Norman escapes barely. Back in Paris, Spot receives a chilling message. Your final target, Xiao Ma. Spot freezes. Xiao Ma is a billionaire financial mogul, founder of a global fintech empire. But now he's preparing to launch a data tracking platform that can follow illicit money flows, exposing criminal and political corruption worldwide. Wall Street hates it. Governments fear it. And someone wants him dead. Spot agrees. He'll take the shot. But there's one issue. The target's surrounded by military-level security, and the only time Xiao Ma will appear in public is at a music hall in Tallinn, Estonia. Spot must create a sniper rifle that can pass metal detectors. He calls Norman. Norman is injured, but agrees to help. Spot flies to Hungary, where Norman now operates from a hidden horse ranch. Together, they design the impossible. A sniper rifle disguised as a broken arm brace using lightweight alloy instead of steel. It will be 3D printed, modular, and deadly. It'll only last for 8 shots, Norman warns. That's enough. They work for hours. Printers hum. By nightfall, the assassin's dream takes shape, a bone-colored rifle hidden in plain sight. Meanwhile, MI6 continues to close in. Blackthorn arrives in Hungary, working through a list of 11 possible hideouts. Norman is completely unaware they're coming. But Spot has a bad feeling. That night, he looks at Norman and says, "A British woman shot you, didn't she?" Norman freezes. Spot realizes they're not after Norman, they're after him. Spot's instincts scream danger. The next morning, as he test fires the new weapon in the woods, hanging watermelons from trees to simulate human targets, he sees them. MI6 assault vehicles quietly surrounding the perimeter of Norman's ranch. Spot races to warn Norman. Back at the house, Norman is still asleep. Spot calls him again and again. No answer. Blackthorn and her team breach the main gate. Spot dials one final time. Norman groggily answers. Spot says just 3 words. British visitor. Now, Norman leaps out of bed, adrenaline surging. His first move isn't to run, but to delete all blueprints and client records from his lab. If I get caught, fine, he mutters. But I won't let them find my clients. Blackthorn's squad bursts through the door moments later. Norman tries to resist, but is quickly tackled, restrained, and handcuffed to a chair. Blackthorn scans the room. On a nearby workbench, she sees metal scraps and lightweight alloy fragments. It's clear, someone just finished building something very advanced. And whoever it was, just left. Meanwhile, Spot is already galloping away on horseback deep into the forest. He's carrying the Brace Sniper Hybrid, now loaded with a limited number of rounds. He knows he won't get another one. Behind him, Blackthorn's team pursues. She knows they're chasing the most dangerous man alive. Spot's escape path ends at a cliff. No hesitation, he jumps into the raging river below. He resurfaces, shivering, and drags himself toward a distant barn, soaked and freezing. Inside, he finds dry cover, and finally lets himself rest. But just as he closes his eyes, a rifle barrel touches his head. Fade to black. Will Spot succeed in killing Xiao Ma, the final $100 million target? Will MI6 finally capture the man they've chased across 3 nations? And most importantly, who was that holding the gun to his head in the barn? The assassin has only 3 rounds left in his 3D printed rifle. And the world is watching. Would you like me to continue into the final arc? It will cover the Tallinn Concert Hall, the final sniper setup, the resolution with Leah and his family, the fate of Blackthorn and Sparrow's revenge,